And I know my clientele, the Cougars, right?
Of course.
I always say when I see
Yeah.
lipstick on a wine glass,
Oh.
that's
Oh,
Cougar
yeah.
tracks, right?
That's Cougar tracks.
So
Yeah,
I get a
fuck
spring
yeah.
in my step because I know
A little
business
rouge on
is
the
about to pick up
Yeah.
for the
on the
ladies'
filter of a
choice.
nice 100 long cigarette or something
Oh,
like
God.
that.
Yeah, you get a Benson, Benson
Benson
Hedges
Hedge?
100 with
Oh, then
lipstick,
it's a
bro.
done deal. Then it's a done deal.
Welcome back to Show Me Yours podcast, everybody.
I'm Jackie Agnew.
I'm Johnny DeVito.
And I'm Ty Boissano.
Goddamn right you are. Who we got in the studio today, Ty?
Oh my dear Lord! I am so amped from Sudan to Japan, from Singapore to Baltimore. We got the ladies' choice, Travis Waters, in studio today. Let's go,
Goddamn right, man.
dude!
my
Thank
God.
you so much for coming in. You're fucking awesome for doing this. We're so very stoked that you're here. A hilarious comedian,
Oh my God, legendary.
pro wrestler.
The coolest.
Doing all kinds of awesome stuff with the downtown east side and all that kind of stuff.
go
You're a
on,
fucking
go
you're a
on.
fucking legend.
No, I
man.
mean it. Go on.
There's more.
Absolutely. Well, what else are you doing then? You tell us.
Well, brother, you got incognito, Johnny DeVito, terrible Ty Boisignon, and much ado about Jackie Agnew, the man with the plan.
Let's go.
And the golden tan is happy to be here, baby, because spring is sprung. And I get a spring in my step. You know that? 'Cause it's closer
Goddamn
to the
right.
beach.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You just
So I'm
you just
happy
got
to be here.
you were in Penticton just now.
I was
Prince
actually up
George.
north.
Right.
Prince George,
Oh,
Quinnell.
wow.
And it was lovely there, too. Yeah, 8-10 degrees. Did a little comedy.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
And we
Right
had a
on.
good time.
Yeah, man. You've been hitting it like so hard since this, like we've kind of been back from COVID. I was like, man,
Oh, it
LC's
was
on a
nice.
fucking tear, dude.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
you're on fire out here.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
awesome.
moving so fast it doesn't seem true, and I'm getting closer. I just don't know what to.
Oh man, it's gonna be an hour.
Yeah, it was great.
What else
you got?
I think that's the thing. Like you have this like a Superman status of what you like growing up just loving wrestling or whatever, and then just kind of like and seeing what you've been living the whole time. I get giddy around you. I do. I get exciting, man.
I would be 100%. So we had a gig out in White Rock, and I saw that LC was on the show, and I was like, I need to figure out a way to get a ride with LC. I will go out of my way just because I just want to spend some one-on-one time with my hero.
A couple people gave us the finger, right? Because I'm not a very good driver.
I literally like,
Not
I
paying
think I
attention. The
straight out to
smoke was
like,
billowing. But we talked a lot of wrestling, and we got there.
yeah, dude. Oh, it was so sick. Your mom was at that show. And it was
Mom was
fucking
there.
awesome. Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, it was so.
Travi was good.
Yeah. I always say, like, your mom came up and was like, from Sudan to Japan. Yeah, she was awesome, man. That was actually a really fun show, too. Yeah, we had to come back. So, man, I gotta, because like we know you as, you know, the comedian and wrestler, and I'm like, what's the origin stories of LC, man?
Yeah.
Like, how did you start doing comedy?
Well, comedy is kind of a natural progression from wrestling, right? Because wrestling's a lot more real than people think. So it's a young man's game.
As I found out
and, you
by
know,
not
fuck,
being
when
able to
you're
take a good
25.
bump from you at
No,
LC Comedy.
You realize wrestling can be real.
Yeah.
If you're gonna sell that
I
thing, do
caught
not
you a good
lean
one
into
there.
the ring.
But you don't lean into it. You know that now. You know that now.
Yeah,
It
Everybody's
won't
gotta
happen
learn.
again.
yeah.
You won't get bit by the same dog twice. But I grew up in the Maritimes, in Fredericton, New Brunswick.
Okay.
And back then, wrestling was territories. In Calgary, you had the Hearts, Stampede Wrestling.
Yep.
Out here was All-Star Wrestling, Can-Am Wrestling in Edmonton. Then it was Grand Prix Wrestling where I was from. So I was a fanatic. I was a wrestling fanatic. I loved wrestling. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Jake the Snake.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Macho Man Randy Savage. I mean, those were the names I grew up with. So I was a wrestling fanatic. So I graduated university in 96 and came out here and I saw a poster that Greg the Hammer Valentine was here, Tito Santana, Doink the Clown, Matt
Hell
Warren
yeah.
was here. I said, holy shit, I'm going to go. So when I went, I was 25 years old, had the long hair. I was jacked up. Someone asked me if I was a wrestler. I said, no. They said, you ever thought of being? I said, oh, God, yeah, ever since I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
So they introduced me to the guy that trained wrestlers. Gorgeous
wow.
Michelle Starr was his name. So we met. I started training, and that was it. Ladies' Choice was born. 6 months later, you learn how to fall. Basically, they beat the shit out of you. See if you got what it takes
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
They
yeah.
make sure they
You
get
just
half their
wean
money
out
first.
everybody else
They
that
wean
way.
out. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's all
And
those
you
great
get-
stories.
here's
I
lesson
think
number
of.
one.
I think that like anybody that's like into pro wrestling or now with podcasts is so great because you can hear a lot of these superstars or whatever have that same kind of experience where 6 guys will show up and you'll all pay the money, and then by the end of it, only 2 guys last. 'cause you're just
Absolutely.
getting
Yeah.
shit kicked and
Yeah.
doing all the workouts and everything.
Oh
for
yeah,
all
it
that
was
time.
13 people started and 2 of us finished. And if
Yeah.
I hadn't told my friends, me and my big mouth, that I was training to be a wrestler, I might have fucking quit too.
Yeah.
That's how
Right.
bad they beat you.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
fucking whip your ass, man.
But you got to put it on yourself because it's gonna be pretty embarrassing to go back after 2 weeks and say, you know what, that wasn't for me.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
yeah,
you might as
yeah.
well get lesson number 1 because it's not ballet.
Hell yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fucking serious business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and people say, I thought it was all fake. 'Cause they're swilling a beer. Well, I'll tell you, it's a lot more real than people think. That's what I think.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty
And
real.
when you fall, that's your back hitting the mat. Is there a proper way to fall? Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you land always that way?
No.
Right.
Yeah.
And do people slip? Do you fall? Ooh, get the wind knocked out. There's all kinds of injuries.
Have you ever had to throw up the X before? Like
I've been
in a
lucky.
match?
The worst I've had was I lost one of my front teeth and I dislocated my shoulder. That's the worst injuries
Damn.
I've had.
Okay, yeah,
Knock
that's
on
not
wood.
so
Well, I
bad.
probably wouldn't, I might get in there once or twice again, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's pretty good because I've
That's-
seen
it's
broken
incredible.
bones. I've seen,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
some bad injuries.
Oh yeah. Well, you
So-
see, like, I mean, all of the heroes of my childhood. I think obviously like the generation after you, but it was like the Attitude Era. You know what I mean? And like, guys like Mick Foley or whatever, the Undertaker's body just can't do it anymore and stuff like that. And like the work schedule that you guys were under is insane. Like, how often are you getting out there?
I was on the
and
road
doing it?
200 nights a year, and
That's so fucking crazy.
you know,
man.
and it's crazy because night after night you have to do it. Ah, shit. And that's where a lot of the wrestlers are dropping dead because, fuck, I can't move my neck. Well, you take a couple
Yeah.
of these, you sure
Right.
as hell can, right?
Totally.
Feel like you can run through a brick wall. What's the problem? Well, wait 10 years. You're
Exactly.
gonna fucking die.
Totally.
You know,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that's the tough part. But wrestling, it's a great thing. I mean, where else you can't walk into the bank, brother, I want to take a withdrawal. But you get away. But sometimes
you
I
can
do.
it. I was going to say, you can do that for sure.
Absolutely, Mr.
You can't
Choice,
poke the
yeah.
bubble of you in my head right now. You're doing that shit everywhere.
Yeah, that's kind of how we picture you going through life.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You're at the funeral home giving a eulogy.
Let me tell you something, Daddy. He took the very few last breaths, brother.
He's in the emergency room
He
cutting a
was
promo right
wheeling
now.
him out, Jack.
Oh, God, that's funny.
But you must be obviously. I mean, I know this just from being kind of like it's on the outside looking in, but talking to guys like Weirdo Hero Randy Myers, and who's also been on the pod and stuff like that. It seems to be like the people that are able to do it for longer are people that like you have to be crazy skilled to be able to do it because otherwise your body can't fucking take it. So like the fact that like. I would imagine that people know that you're a safe guy to work with and that kind of shit. Because I imagine that's a huge factor.
Well, yeah, to get longevity, you have to look after one another. And
Yeah.
the object of the game is nobody gets hurt because we got to go to the next town, right?
Exactly.
And got to pay those things that come in the mail, right?
Yeah.
Those bills, right?
Yeah.
So that's it's like a square dance out there. We got to look after each other.
Oh, definitely. I don't think WCB is going to give you, you know what I mean, is going to cut you a check.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Well, I went up for the
There's no-
suplex when I
Yeah.
come down and jarred me here.
Yeah.
Doctor said stay off my feet, so I
Yeah.
need a check every month. No, it's not
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things that it's like, I mean, you gotta love to do it, and I think that's where like I admire like so many of you guys with like just the passion to do it. With stand up, I mean, yeah, it's also a grind, and you know what I mean. You're just doing what you have to do to get by or whatever. But there's very little threat of physical violence.
low
You know
risk.
what I mean? Pretty
Yeah.
low risk.
Yeah.
But it's like comedy in the way that you have to have a screw loose, really.
Sure.
to do
Right.
it. Really.
Yes.
You can have a screw loose.
Yep.
So that's why it's a fraternity, and it is in comedy too, because the comics stick together because we're kind of one and the same. We're all, off the beaten path. We're all a little out there.
Yeah.
So are the wrestlers. We're all out there.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you got to have it because I think that like if anybody's gonna like chase the dream, I think all of us could have went back to the job, and you know what I mean, fucking lived like the regular life where you're just gonna stay inside and.
Yeah.
Whatever, just like work for the man and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
if
the
that's,
thing.
I don't.
And I
think
knew
that's
at a
for
young
anybody.
age it was a pirate's life for me.
Absolutely.
I wasn't cut out for a cubicle and
Right.
work for the Department of Transportation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I knew that when I drove a Dickie D cart. But I don't know if you ever heard of those ice cream carts back when I was 15.
Is that your first gig?
Away from pedophiles, yeah. Back when you were 15. But back then, you knew where the perverts were. Oh, don't worry
They're the
about
best
that guy.
customers.
Yeah. I knew what he wanted. I just didn't go in.
Yeah.
We were street smart back then.
You had to
Right?
be.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. That's it. You had to be.
100%. I think I was lucky.
Well,
I've been 6'3" and 200 pounds since I think like the 6th or 7th grade or something.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, it's like I shot up quick and then haven't grown at all since. You should see my dick. It's still a child's. Anyway, I never had any of those like jobs or whatever, or ever looked like I was even like a potential kid that could have got scooped up, right? Like I was lifting fucking TVs out of Zellers into people's like into trunks and shit. Nobody asked me to get inside.
You're still holding on to that.
A little bit, you know what I mean? Right? I was
See how
a cute
jealous
kid.
he is.
Nobody asked.
I was a cute kid for like 6 months, and then I shot up to, you know what I mean, to something that like you might have to bring a lunch because like it's not going to be an easy fight for me to get in the car.
But you want to be pursued every once in a while.
I just want to know that I had it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, right? Like I say, you don't have to get in the ring, but to know that you could compete is, you know what I mean? It's something special, right? Now I'm from a small town, and without any. Wrestling. It was the same thing for like football and a lot of these kind of things. In the neck of the woods that I was in, there was no outlet that I could even learn how to do this. Right? You're in a backyard with your friends jumping
I
off
feel
the
like
fucking
it's always
garage.
kind of from an outsider. It's a little bit like magic.
It is.
It's like it feels like you got to know somebody to like get you
Yeah.
in. Like I've been begging Myers for whatever. I'm like, can we just go to a ring? I just want to go in.
Stretch me out.
Yeah,
Come
just
on.
go, like, you know what I mean?
And I'll tell you, when I broke in the mid '90s, there was still the mystique of is it fake or not.
Right.
So if someone come up in a bar and said, "What do you mean that fake shit? Fuck, you fought your way out of the bar."
Yeah.
Right?
I said,
Yeah.
"I'll show you fake." Ting tang tong. And we travel in packs, right?
Yeah.
Because fuck,
Yeah.
there's always some town drunk. Well, you mean fuck you that fake shit?
Yeah.
You want to arm wrestle? No, I don't. I
Yeah,
just want to
no
enjoy
shit.
a beer.
Yeah.
But fuck, no, sometimes.
Well, I mean, you guys are like,
Oh,
I mean,
man.
you're tanned,
Yeah.
you're jacked, right? The hair is flowing and stuff like that. If you're
Well,
you're,
no,
you're
that's
putting
it.
a target on you in any town that you
Yeah,
go.
you go into
you know,
town and you got these.
The tough guy. I've
You
been
got
punched
women-
in the face
you got-
just
you're
because
the
I'm the
late-
tallest guy in the room, and somebody's
You're
like,
like,
"I
I
fuck
know,
this
there's
guy."
always
Is the
something.
ladies' choice?
Yeah. He just walked.
People must have tried to fight with you so
Oh
much.
yeah,
Yeah,
How-
it's
you
gonna
lock
ruffle
up
a
your
few
ladies.
feathers. Yeah.
man, you're coming to fuck some wives.
Yeah.
That's a fact, Jack. We had some real good slugging percentage in those small towns.
LC's been putting up numbers on the road.
Oh, yeah. There's a reason I get nervous when my phone rings on Father's Day.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah,
weird.
I put that on
Finally caught
silent.
up to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I go in airplane mode for 24 hours.
Oh man, that's got to be crazy. It was so in the '90s when like with all that stuff, was kayfabe still huge? Like, is there like faces and heels drinking together
Absolutely,
in a bar?
yeah. We say, okay, we get to a certain point. We say, all right, now we got to travel separate,
Yeah.
right? You just can't be seen with baby faces. Kayfabe, you had to protect the business.
Totally.
as
Yeah.
they call it, right?
Yeah.
But then with the internet and all that, it's all wide out in the open. You
Right.
know, of how everything goes. It's
Yeah.
involved.
How do you feel about like the current state and everything that's happening? I mean, there's I'm kind of seeing from the outside like a bit of a resurgence, almost like wrestling is back in a bigger way that I think than it has been in a few
I've been
years.
living
I think so.
vicariously through Ravikant, of course, as I do
Yeah.
with most of my
Yeah,
wrestling
it
things.
is. It
Yeah.
is. Wrestling's like the bell curve. You know, it's up and down, and sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. Right now, it's up.
Yeah, it
And
definitely
there's other
seems like it's
companies,
fucking
and there's
upright.
there's the Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. There's always that big name.
I mean, how
It was last one was Stone Cold.
how
The Rock.
fitting we got you on WrestleMania weekend, man. It was fucking
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
sick.
I enjoy WrestleMania. That's something I do watch.
Yeah.
And the Hall of Fame ceremony was
Yeah,
last night.
Ray
It's a-
Mysterio got in
it's a
there.
two-night
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's great fun. I love wrestling. You
Yeah.
know, so whether it's fake or not was never an issue. Even though when I was 13, I thought it was real too.
For sure.
I was
I
like, Hulk
remember-
Hogan, you
yeah.
can't beat Andre. You can't do it. He's too big. 7'5", 500 pounds. You know, they had me hook, line, and sinker. But I mean, I've always loved it. To
Talk
this
about
day.
those guys being like true to the fucking game in the ring and outside the ring at that era, especially too. Is like my uncle has a story about going to see Andre the Giant wrestle somebody outside of Edmonton somewhere, and they see him, and he's like a young kid, and they see Andre like outside, and they're taunting him and all that stuff, but there's a big fence, and Andre just came fucking running up. It was like, like just scared the fucking shit out of him. Like, I was like, that's so sick though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
awesome.
it's amazing.
Commitment. Yeah.
I remember that moment though too, because born in the '90s. My brother's 3 years older than me, so if I'm like into wrestling at the time, there was also like Mike Tyson was the biggest thing, and right.
Oh,
So there was that time in my childhood when everybody was like kind of giving me shit because it's fake, but it's so much fun. Like the action figures and everything, it just captures the imagination. You know what I mean of the youth, right? And it's like there's a level of danger, but there's also like a level of fun to it too. Right, like you gotta
Yeah,
be
the
able
pageantry.
To, the pageantry
Yeah.
is real.
It's
right?
a good show, man. It's a
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
good show.
Yeah, and sometimes real violence is. I do watch fights, but sometimes, I don't like to see people really get hurt. I don't.
Yeah.
I like to know that Wile E. Coyote is going to get back up.
100%.
Yeah.
And so in wrestling, you know that Wile E. Coyote is going to get back up, which is, sometimes watching someone get their face caved in, saying, "Oh shit."
Well, that's I watched a
Even though
knockout
I
on
do.
UFC
Yeah.
recently where this fucking guy, the ref probably should have stopped it a few seconds before, but he keeps taking hits to the head, and he's out cold, and he comes back like he doesn't even know that the fight is over yet, right? He's still swinging at guys in the ring
like
and shit.
on the ref.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
right? Like all that shit is like, you're watching somebody that's not going to be the same ever
Exactly.
again.
I was talking
Like,
about this the other day.
that's a
I feel like as I've
lifelong-
gotten older, it's harder for me. Like I used to watch crazy shit when I was a kid.
Oh, of course.
But like now, I'm like, I can't even watch like a bail section in a skate video.
I know,
Like,
I
I'm
try
like,
to send-
man, like guys just fucking sacking themselves on rails and shit. I'm like, this is horrible.
Hell,
learned to
people
stop
have
sending
asked
those
me, a wrestler, have you ever thought about MMA or UFC? I'm like, no, that's a different kind of wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is salt in your eyes, I'm just going to steal your wife, not
Yeah.
Greco-Roman or
Yeah,
Olympic
yeah.
style
Yeah,
wrestling.
Yeah, it's
like
not just
changing your
freestyle.
life
Yeah,
forever
yeah,
because
so you
of a
don't-
serious
yeah,
head
yeah.
injury.
Exactly, right? But there's
I'm not
gotta be
wearing a
some-
leotard.
I don't like
unless I
getting
want
hit
to.
at all.
Yeah.
I do not like getting hit. Right?
Totally,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
on the fun side of that, like you must have been to like, you know what I mean? Like what an interesting life now you created for yourself, right? After how long you've been doing it and all the places that you've been, you know what I mean?
25
Right?
years.
Like
no,
that's crazy.
it's wild. And it's the pirate's life is the best life,
Mm-hmm.
And there's no pension,
Yep.
but what the hell? You just live every day to the fullest.
Hell yeah.
The happiest people don't have the best of everything. They make the best of everything.
Of course,
Totally.
right?
Do you
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
some chops out? Because like I imagine hanging around a bunch of fucking savages every night, like on the road. Like you just like you. It's
If
they're
you
funny
wrote a
people.
book, you couldn't sell it as fiction. And that's where
Yeah.
comedy
Yeah.
came in for me because I was always trying to make people laugh.
Yeah.
Even in grade school, I was the class clown,
Yep.
which is a dying art.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure it
Yeah.
is.
Now, but back then, right to the office at my
Yeah.
own expense.
Hell
I
yeah,
was
man.
the class clown.
Yeah.
Now, who knows? I'd be on Ritalin or something.
Yeah.
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 Back then it was a different story. And then in the van, always trying to make the boys laugh.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and then so when wrestling started to taper off, I needed to still shoot my mouth off into a microphone.
Yeah.
You know,
Goddamn right.
Fuck, there was comedy. And that's why guys like Ravenous Randy started doing it, and some of the wrestlers go out and tell stories. Jake the Snake.
Yep.
Yeah,
Foley.
fuck yeah.
Yep.
Foley
Foley
does tons of
yep.
stuff.
Steve
Yeah.
Ott, Ricky Steamboat. So yeah, no, but the pirate's life is the only way to go.
Of course.
Yeah.
Preaching to the choir.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no.
Chemicals either. Yeah.
No, there's nothing slowing down and things. I get real pissed off too because I might like overbook myself or whatever. But then you start thinking about it and you're like, what the fuck else would you be doing? You know what I mean, right?
exactly,
Like,
yeah.
what do you?
Yeah, it's great.
a
People
good
are like, oh
problem
my
to
god,
have.
you're doing all that. I'm like, yeah, but what else? There's
Yeah.
nothing else to do.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
I
That's what you
can't.
do.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't do well just sitting on my hands. Right. I think that if you can get booked, then go and do the show.
Yeah.
If you're
Well,
lucky enough
yeah.
to get on, right?
The way you've been able to like do like how long have you been doing comedy now?
8 years.
Yeah, see that
Eight
like,
years I've been
Yeah.
and it's not like
And I
you go
guess COVID
CLC
was 2 of nothing, 2 years
I
of
guess,
zero.
yeah.
Yeah. Which
Like-
was strange, but
It's not a like your act like it's not like this like very heavy pro wrestling act. It's like you don't like narrow your audience down by just being like, oh, I'm just gonna have like these wrestling stories or that. It's all very related. Like, you have a bunch of dating stuff.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Yeah.
My kid is showing- yeah. He's
First time
"This is
that's
a
happened."
legend,
Yeah.
One legend meets
I've heard
another.
of drug sniffing dogs, never a drug sniffing cat.
Oh, trust me, that cat's higher than all of us.
Yeah.
Popsicle is not a cop. I
Talking about sniffing drugs.
Yeah.
Pops knows all
You
about
know,
it.
yeah. You just see it if you'll share.
Yeah.
Here you go, Popsy.
Yeah, like you've been doing it for 8 years, obviously, and now you have this experience on the road, like talking with people, like. But you're very like related. Like, your comedy is very relatable. Like you have lots of relationship stuff and all sorts of things. And I fucking I love watching a crowd when you go up because they assume like it's gonna just be this just
Yeah.
literally one-dimensional wrestling guy, and it's like he starts talking about like how vulnerable you are.
Yeah, well, no,
and it's
that's
like
it.
it's
Yeah.
the biggest mind fuck. You're like, oh my god, like look, this is fucking
Totally.
hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
And just it happens every time, and I just love seeing that, man. It's fucking awesome.
I'm lucky when I broke into comedy. Yuck Yuck was over on 12th.
Yeah,
yeah.
And Canby in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And they had this pro-am program
Yep.
run by a guy named Sam Easton that would take young comedians just starting and groom them and
Right.
give them pointers and hold seminars and bring people
Yeah.
in.
Yep.
And I when I broke in, I was right in the middle of that. So I learned a lot from people that had been in the business for a long time. And Sam was so gracious in teaching me he said, look, you were a wrestler, right? Yeah. You did this. Yeah. Yeah. Well, tell people that through your act, through your
Yes.
jokes, right? And wrestling taught me anyway to go up there and go big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So even if
Yep.
you fuck it up, well, then fuck it up big.
Yeah.
Don't just go, oh, hi, I'm
Yeah.
Charles,
Yeah.
the thing, the thing. Go big.
Yeah.
Let me tell you
Totally.
something, Daddy. The man with the plan of the golden tag. The voice of the lady's choice. So if you lay an egg, lay a big one. You know?
Yeah.
So I was, so I was appreciative of that, and they'd bring people in and he'd run classes and all that. And they had every week. So I was lucky to break in when that was going on. And now after COVID, we're just building everything back up,
Yeah.
The clubs are starting to get going, shows are starting to get going again. So I'm
I think
happy
that's
about
like
it 'cause
great
we all
advice,
like
rather
getting
to
out
like
there.
to go up and like announce you are something is to
Yeah.
like let it shine through your stuff. I think right now with comedy, there's so many like identity politics where you're just getting an applause break for just saying that you're a member of whatever group. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Which is so much more interesting if it's discovered throughout the joke or whatever. You know what I mean,
Yeah.
right? I think
Yeah.
that like rather than like there's many ways you can go up there and like plant your flag in the ground and talk your shit, right? But
Yeah,
the way
absolutely.
that you know what I mean, the way that you can do it and then have the ability to connect past like a wrestling persona to a crowd of people that may or probably on a larger percentage may not. You know what I mean? I think with wrestling it's always that like, oh, I used to do that kind of thing. or
Yeah,
whatever,
no,
right?
that's it. And I got to sprinkle a bit in, but if it's just one trick thing, then that won't last very long. Of
course.
Yeah.
It's like coming in screaming. Well, you got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
There's a few
There's
fellas out there.
Yeah. I can think of a couple.
Absolutely right, and I mean a big personality is great, right? But I mean you need to, to like you said, it's like the vulnerability there to show the other side of the thing, right? Like take them on a journey, or else how else can you connect, right?
Exactly,
And I mean,
yeah.
if you're trying to do this, then find longevity in it after, you know what I mean? Like the career, like you're finding the best way to do it, right? It's like,
Well, that's it.
it's
And people
really
say,
cool to
well,
watch.
ask me, who do you make fun of? I said, well, you're looking at them.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
lots to work with right here.
Yeah.
I look
Yeah.
at in the mirror every morning. You know,
Yeah.
fuck, I love them, but I can sure as hell make fun of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's the best thing because if you came in with a different attitude, and I mean I think that's the reason why you know what I mean, like your name is what it is, and so many people respect you or whatever. Because you can come in with that attitude and
Oh,
being like
fuck.
I'm the fucking shit, and it might not play the same way. You know what I mean?
and that's
right? You
what
gotta be
friends are
able to
for
poke some
too.
fun.
I love making fun of my friends. That's the
Hell
beauty
yeah.
of having
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah,
We just
yeah.
constantly
Keep you in check.
make fun of each other.
Totally.
24/7.
Oh my God! I had it last night. I was getting it from the boys. Jesus fucking Christ!
Oh,
And Derek
relentless.
Turner goes on a podcast and they ask him like, who's 3 comics that are, you know what I mean, in town that are really killing it? And he names Ty, and he names Jackie, and he names some other fucking guy. And everybody in the room is just, every comic in there is like, so Ty and Jackie, I can't think of a third
Yeah.
that's sitting there. And all these fucking guys are just ribbing the shit out of me. And I got to go on stage and introduce all of these assholes throughout the course of the fucking night. You know, right? But like, if you wouldn't have it any other way, right? Because I think that it would be disingenuous. So they wouldn't be your buddies if you.
Oh
you know,
my
right?
God!
Yeah.
No, you only rib
Yeah.
the ones you love. You only make fun of
Yeah.
the people you love.
And it's good. It's hard to have an ego when you have friends that are constantly bringing you down, to bring you down to earth. But
yeah.
it's good
No,
because you
fuck,
can't have an
no.
ego if you're
No.
doing comedy.
That's
Like
someone,
it's
yeah.
terrible.
Oh,
It's a
you're
terrible
only as
thing
good as your
to
last
carry
set.
around
and
with
I got
you.
work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that you know that's kind of the thing. So when you're now with like 8 years in the game, like booking road gigs and stuff like that, what do you have kind of on the horizon? Anything that you're looking forward, or are you just are
Well,
you
it's
flying
funny
by
because
night?
now I'm getting and networking again, and it's funny. That's how comedy works.
Yeah.
You know, just up north, I worked with Sterling Scott,
So rad.
and I'd never worked with him
Yeah.
before. So now he's like, "Oh man, I can get you here, and we can bring
Yeah.
you down here." And so that's what comedy's about: networking, meeting new people. And this
Totally.
comic can set you up here, and I know him, and he lives in Halifax, and so that's so. And it's really starting to get going again after COVID. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
It's nice to see people again, 20 pounds heavier.
Yeah. Yeah.
The lucky ones. The ones that kept it together.
Yeah, exactly. It's either that or debilitating fucking drug addiction or whatever. I think that was the funny thing about like with COVID or whatever. Everybody just settled into the thing that they normally do, and you
Yeah.
realize like how much I just enjoy drinking beer and not really doing fuck all.
Yeah.
I took my empties in and I fucking paid the rent with them. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But now that it's coming back, and I think that it's cool to watch you do the thing because we're getting at that point in our careers where we're just stepping out and just reaching out to other people that are out there, right, and kind of seeing that grow. And it's funny because you can get kind of like discouraged just doing comedy in the same town over and over and over again or whatever. But when you kind of see that there is light out there and people are cool, you know what I mean, and inviting and all that shit, right? Then I think that you know what I mean. It's a pirates community, but it's rad. You know what I mean?
Oh
It's
yeah,
lucky to
people
do
are
it.
actually trying to help each other. You know,
Yeah.
we support each other.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're all a little off.
Yeah, and I think that like the networking part of it, the kind of nice thing is that the further you go in comedy, because so much of it is about connecting with people, it kind of weeds out the assholes too.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. You got to get
Yeah.
along.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you got to work
Yeah.
with these people and see the same people time and time again.
Yeah.
That's where it's similar to wrestling.
Yeah.
If you're
yeah.
come in and you're a complete asshole, people have no time for you. We got to be on the road 9 days in a row
Yeah.
with this fucking asshole. No way.
Exactly.
Fuck.
Yeah.
They get someone that's really tough. They say, stretch this asshole.
Yeah.
Send him home, and we never see him again. And I've seen that in comedy too.
Yeah.
Guys, oh, he's funny, but fuck, nobody likes him. He's not.
Exactly. If you're
Yeah.
not a good
Fuck 'em.
hang, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter how funny you are.
No,
No one
that's
wants to
it.
be around you.
No.
Heard that
that's
time
it.
and
So
time
you
again.
gotta be
Even
affable.
from, yeah,
Yeah,
even from bookers
yeah.
and stuff like that. There might be the guy that's the funniest dude in the world, but if he's a piece of shit, then do you want to work the weekend with him, right?
Yeah,
And the guy that's the
absolutely
good
not.
hang or whatever will probably
No.
get that spot, right?
No, that's it, and that's why comedians are just mellow, easygoing people that like to have a puff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing right here, right now.
Yeah, 100%.
This is
Yeah.
fucking
Hey, why
this
wouldn't
is
you?
the scene.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, speaking of which.
Yeah, no shit, right? And it's just a place to talk the shit and to do the thing, right? And I think that I don't know, you got to have that though. A lot of people live vicariously, I mean, through the things that you've done, right? Like I just want to say, like I want to ask you, like what's the craziest story or whatever in a long career? I'm sure you got a few.
Well, I mean, fuck, Actually, this is a true story, and I was doing this a bit for a while, but I woke up one morning because I mean, like I say, a lot of this stuff you couldn't sell as fiction, traveling on the road.
Yeah.
And I woke up in this worst dump of a trailer home I've ever been in, and I'm not knocking trailer homes. I grew up in a trailer.
Love a
home.
double wide. Yeah.
I grew up in a trailer home, but this one was a dump. And I looked beside me, and there's the girl with the Surrey blonde hair.
Yep.
It's a special shade.
Yeah,
It is a special shade of
shade.
blonde.
Yeah,
And
the
I
roots
thought,
coming
for
out.
the love of God, what is, it's becoming me. So I hear this. There's a kid, I must be 6 years old, at the door, the bedroom door. He says, "Mom, I'm hungry."
Yeah.
And she says, "I thought I told you to fuck off."
Holy
And I thought, oh my God almighty, this is insane. So I got up and I thanked for her hospitality, put my trousers on, and away I was going to go check the mail on top of the fridge and get the fuck out of there. Right? So as I'm tying up my shoes, I see the kid, right, with the chapped lips, the gym pants, rubber boots, 6 years old. And he's staring me in the eyes and he says, "You look like a faggot." And I said, "Oh my fucking God." And I knew this kid doesn't have a fucking hope in hell.
Yeah.
Get a spot open in juvenile hall right now. When the kid turns 16, get him in there. Because some kids, you just know they don't have a chance. And every kid should be born with a chance.
Preach, brother.
Just a chance. This kid, no fucking chance.
Oh,
Now,
that's
you know,
heartbreaking.
was that the first time this has happened? I think not. Probably. Fuck.
Hate to break
I
it
thought
to
I
you.
told you to fuck. I thought, oh my God.
That's really telling me. Like, I just banged your
I was
mom.
gonna say, hate to break it to you, kid, but I
Yeah,
just
man, I
banged your
was
mom.
gonna ask for a
Yeah.
tables, ladders, and chairs story. That's the wildest shit ever.
Yeah. So, I mean,
It ain't all unicorns and rainbows, DeVito.
I'd love to have a "Where Are They Now" on that kid. Fuck knows where that kid is.
Where are they now?
Oh my God.
He's at an open mic, hopefully.
Yeah, dude, shit. I think we know that guy.
Oh, fuck.
But it's a
So
fraternity. Wrestling's a fraternity. Some of the road stories, don't pass out in the van. Don't, your
Yeah,
eyebrows
yeah.
are shaved. You're marked up, I mean, I've seen guys go into Tim Hortons with, dicks drawn on their forehead. Hey, everyone's staring at me. Did you see that? What the fuck? And it just
Famous.
it's one big, you never grow up. It's
Yep.
fuck,
Yeah,
honest
yeah.
to God.
Oh,
Oh, Jesus.
professional.
Something in the oven.
Wake up.
Guys,
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's my rosemary bread.
Yeah, right. And Johnny's like, my chicken fingers are done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Rosemary
Yeah,
bread.
there's
I
my
wish.
Swanson.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Chucky taught me how to make a loaf of bread with a can of beer, and that's
Pretty,
actually not bad.
it's pretty
That's
good.
bad bitch
yeah,
right there.
beer bread.
Yep.
You use it in place of yeast. So it's
I guess there's
pretty
yeast
quick.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
it's
got a
pretty
couple
good.
tricks, a couple
Yeah.
tricks, but not definitely not as many as I should. Who's got the time to cook these days? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, especially bread.
Yeah, man. Well, how do you, oh, fucking A. How do you maintain the physiques? Are you still working out? Or are you still
Absolutely. You got to. I'm fighting father time, tooth and nail.
Attaboy.
Absolutely. The only problem is father time is undefeated. But I will not go gentle into that good night.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
because one day I'll turn around and it'll be a joke. It's ladies' choice. And, oh, looks like he shit himself. I mean, skinny little legs,
Yeah.
pot belly. But by God, I'm fighting that day. And one day it's going to come, but not today.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Right?
that's
I'll still
awesome.
take my shirt off today.
Yeah,
We know.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you came in here with the shirt on, bro.
Yeah.
a little disappointed to be honest.
Thank you,
there.
Johnny. I would too. Yeah, man, that's
And I see these comics, they say, "Man, you're really in shape for your age." I said, "For my age, you're 25. You're built like a warm bag of milk." I said, "Fuck, I take my shirt off. There's no contest here.
Yeah.
For my age, even if I was 25, brother."
There's very few comics out there doing push-ups, buddy. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
the motivation is different. I don't know what it is, but if you're always looking for the funny in something, then pushing yourself to a physical exhaustion every day or whatever. I don't know if that's they just don't go hand in hand.
Did you find you did that before? Were you pretty into keeping your body up before
was.
wrestling?
Yes, I was. I started working out when I was like 16, 17.
That's the thing, man. Is that you set that
Yeah.
You have to
programming, right?
get
It's
into
like
the
become
habit.
part of your life.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then it's
not a
always been a
choice.
part of my life. And then in wrestling, the aesthetics is a part of it.
Big time.
Of course.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you
course,
have to
yeah.
look the part.
You can't
Yeah.
be the lady's choice.
No, with,
strolling
you
in there
know,
like
Hot
some
belly.
tough piece
Yeah,
of
no,
shit.
you
Yeah.
could be a comic and do that, or like like a big fat guy named Tiny or something like that. That
Yeah.
works,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like
Absolutely.
with wrestling,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
the same. No.
So I had to have some type of physique if I'm going to call myself ladies' choice.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Peel my shirt off. So that's where it started. And like I said, now it's just a way of life. I got to keep this going because, you know, I'm still out there trying to stay in the game. You know,
Goddamn right.
I'd like to, you know, curtsy to a lady now.
So,
and again.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
you would like to give 2023. You would now like to give her the choice. Welcome, Travis. The choice is yours.
The choice is yours.
That's right.
Oh my god. Times are
And I know my clientele, the Cougars, right?
Of course.
I always say
course,
when I see
yeah.
lipstick on a wine glass,
Oh.
that's
Oh,
Cougar
yeah.
tracks. Right?
That's-
So
Yeah,
I get a
fuck
spring
yeah.
in my step
pounds.
because
Oh,
I
yeah.
know
A little
business
rouge on
is
the
about to pick up
yeah.
for the
on the
ladies'
filter of a
choice.
nice 100 long cigarette or something
Oh,
like
God.
that.
Yeah, or you get a
That's-
Benjamin, Benjamin
Ben's
Hedges
Hedge.
100 with his
Oh, then
lipstick,
it's a
bro.
done deal. Then it's a done deal.
Sign me up. Yeah, exactly. I'll be there all weekend.
Yeah.
I don't care if a kid calls me a faggot.
It doesn't
Honestly,
matter.
hey, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, if
I'll
you
be
got to
up by
take
the
one with
pool.
the other.
Hey,
you know?
kid, I thought I told you to fuck off. Yeah.
God damn it.
Oh, man. That is too good. Are there any plans of? There's tons of really great like local promotions that I've just been only gotten into that I know. Like New was a one. Randy's helping run Boom,
Yes.
which is fucking awesome. Are
Yes.
you?
I am. I've got one last run in me, and I've been talking to some guys about setting up a match. I got
Hell
like
yeah.
maybe 2 or 3 at the most,
Yeah.
and then I'll tip my cap because I don't want to get hurt.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
that would, you know, to be out for a year.
Well, the world is
Learn to walk again.
begging for it.
I was
I'll
gonna
tell you
say,
that
we
right
gotta
now,
see that.
brother.
I want to go out on a
Yeah.
high note.
We're
Yeah.
canceling
show.
every fucking
Yeah,
thing.
we
You
gotta
gotta,
see
be
that.
there.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta
Yeah.
be there.
Oh,
I want all
100%.
3 there.
Definitely.
Oh, we'll
all
be there
3
for
there.
sure.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
So no, I got and so I want to leave on a high note. So it'll be this year, 2023.
Nice.
With other
Okay, yeah.
promotions and stuff kind of coming up after you do tip your cap, is there like other capacities in wrestling that you can
Oh,
still work and
absolutely.
stuff?
I'll still
you know?
have to come out and be a manager.
Of course.
Yeah.
Or something
Definitely.
where I can shoot my mouth off and still be a character.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
that'd be
mean, it's
good.
gotten to a point now. I don't know where Ladies' Choice ends and Travis Waters begins, or
Right.
vice versa.
Totally.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
very
You got a real
blurry
dice
line,
play situation on your hands here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know? And
Well, I mean,
thank
there's one
God I
thing-
didn't lose my hair. You know?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I keep it a little long. If I do,
Just
I'm
to
gonna comb it
remind
over.
everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Comb it all
Great
over,
look.
which is a dying art. You don't see comb overs anymore.
You really don't.
Yeah,
You really
people-
don't.
The
Yeah.
odd old fella, the
No.
odd Asian guy, and that's it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
really.
people
Yeah.
go.
I like the
shave
real
on that
stick
shit.
down.
Yeah.
I like the
The
like. I
stick-
feel like they
I
don't
like
make
it
that
right
pomade
from the
anymore.
ear. Every
Right,
part, like right fucking
the
over.
long comb.
So if it's
yeah.
windy, it's
That's
blowing.
Yeah.
exactly.
Get up
Yeah.
from swimming, it's down your shoulder. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like, fuck it, go bald with dignity, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
All that time spraying it and shit.
Yeah, the scram, just the look of desperation to cover it up. You see it and you're like, oh no.
Well, that's the thing. 'Cause
Yeah,
everything else
yeah.
falls apart around it. Where if you keep your chin up and you fucking, you know what I mean. What you got to do is when you're a young kid is to rock a baldy for a couple months so you can kind of see where your head's going to be at. Right. Personally, I know that when this hair goes, I'm doing all right. You know what I mean? I'll probably get better with time. Actually, looking at the old man, you know what I mean. I think it's going to be fine, right? But it's the coward and the meekness that you can feel. You know what I mean? From like a level of defeat. Let
Yeah.
that shit go.
Yeah, yeah. I think.
It's driving me fucking nuts. I got too many of my friends that are. Well, we know some people that have gone on some trips or whatever, right? But too many of my buddies are. This fucking guy, he's the cul-de-sac. He's losing it, and so he just feels he's gonna grow his fucking hair out and like. So then I
Get a
thought
real
it was for like for a procedure.
Eaten in the middle.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, I
not
mean,
mad at it.
that's a look. Yeah.
I thought it was for a procedure, and then so I started asking him about it, and he's like, "No, this is just what it is. This is just what we're doing." And I'm like, "You got to cut all that fucking shit off."
Yeah.
Like,
No, shave that.
people are looking at
Yeah.
us right now, but still, You know what I mean? I think we're all lucky in that category.
Oh, I mean, I'm so vain. I think that song is about me. But I would
For
go
real,
bald
though, with that
dignity.
track.
I really would. I would.
You listen to that song, you're
You
like,
gotta
but it's
just
for
embrace
sure
it.
about this person you're talking about, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
The whole track, you're like, so that person's right, though, right? Because you are talking about them. Speaking of albums, we do need to get into this at some point.
Oh, it's
We're going to do it.
That's the
You
show.
brought in an absolute heater, sir.
Oh, man.
Def Leppard's 1987 release, Hysteria, is just
Incredible.
a banger.
So
Every song.
good.
Every song.
It truly is a front to back.
Oh,
Like, you
I
can't-
was
Just
hoping
song
for,
after
you know what I
song.
mean,
Yeah.
when we find out that the Ladies' Choice is coming on, I was like, I was hoping for an album that was equally as has the showmanship,
Of
Yeah.
course.
and that this is like
You did not disappoint.
fucking
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh,
dude.
I
Yeah.
mean, you know what?
Yeah.
These were different times. I mean, this is a time of Sam the Record Man.
Yeah, hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Like you had to
dude.
go and buy the. I mean, back then you had to buy the whole album just for Achy Breaky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't fucking
Miley
download
wasn't
Achy
even
Breaky. You had to
born
buy
yet.
the album. So that's why this Hysteria. Every song is a winner.
Yeah.
Every single
Truly.
song. You don't have to skip any of them. You know. And this is around the time I started working out. 15, going to the gym, hair teased out, getting interested in women. So
Yeah.
this is my coming of age.
Were you
album.
into
Yeah.
Def Leppard before this album came out?
Yes, I remember High and Dry.
Yeah,
You know.
because this took a while. This is recorded from like '84. They started.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So there's kind of some anticipation for this album
Oh,
coming out, I
wow.
believe.
Oh,
Where
wow.
is the arm coming off and the
off.
rehabilitation? Is
It's
that
off.
is that why
I
they
was just
took?
about to say that's
Yeah.
why you
Yeah.
know that this
Yeah.
is the first album with one arm.
Oh, all right. Well, that's the
Wow.
gap. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And-
incredible story because I mean
Yeah.
the way that it's described is this guy's trying to pass somebody on a little English road and the guy's slowing down and then speeding up so he can't pass and whatever.
Yeah, it's road
and at
rage.
this point, so he just speeds around him, loses control, gets his arm caught in the seatbelt, and the arm stays in the car.
Oh my
And
God.
drummer goes for a ride, and to continue to play after that
That's
at
insane.
such a,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, at like the level that these guys are at, they're fucking the biggest band in the world. You know, one of them.
And let's be honest, he's not giving some fucking Ringo like on the
Yeah,
side
he's
here.
not,
Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
This
yeah.
is like some
These are
fucking
playing
heavy edge
hardcore
shit going on.
drums.
A lot of
Yeah.
Tom work.
I watched
Drum
that behind
heavy.
the music, and I think you're describing.
Yep.
And they showed an English couple that happened to walk by when he was lying there after the accident, and he said to them, "I'm a famous drummer, and I've just lost my arm." But if you watch the whole thing, you'll see that he's lying in the hospital bed, and he tells Def Leppard, "Just go on,
Yeah.
go on without
Yeah.
me." And they said, "No, you learn to play with one arm, and we'll wait."
That's
And they did.
incredible.
That's
Wow.
And then they
sick.
started touring, and this album came out, went like quadruple, like sold 30 million copies.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the one-armed drummer on top of it. So it became, just larger than life.
Or like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
is
What a
incredible.
feel-good story.
What a
if you
story.
say, no, we'll wait.
Yeah.
And he learned it's 8 hours a day. He practiced on these special drums
Yeah.
where what he would use that arm for, he started using his feet.
Right.
And use these synthesized drums.
Yeah.
And wow.
It's incredible. Like, I mean, the
incredible.
amount of, if you're at Def Leppard status 4 or 8 years, how long that's going to take, imagine all the money that you're leaving on the table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to tell your buddy, like, no, we got you, right? Like,
Yeah.
fucking incredible. But this album is kind of like, my brother's born in 1987. My mom drinks cider on the beach. And this fucking album is like, I think in every vehicle that I got into as a kid, right? Like, this is such like an iconic album.
This is
cover.
my uncle for sure had this. It was like it's one of those albums that you remember, like the cover of it. You remember like seeing as a kid.
Yeah.
And I was born in '87 too, same age
Totally,
Richie.
yeah.
So it's like I remember just being like, what is this?
Yes.
yeah. It's a very it sparks your curiosity for
Yeah.
sure.
It does, and I think seeing them around or whatever, just like all that. I don't know, because I still collect records or whatever to this day, right? And I think that
vinyl's
like this
back
is
in
one
a
of
big way.
it's huge.
Yeah, it's big. More vinyl is selling better than CDs now.
For
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
First
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
ever, yeah.
Because CDs are fucking terrible.
Yeah,
Well, you
CDs
got a
are
brand new
terrible
car. I don't
medium.
even think you have a CD player. Oh yeah, you do.
I think there is a CD
Never
player,
mind.
but yeah.
We're
not there yet.
Sue's got that covered.
yeah.
I remember
I've
thinking-
brought in CDs and played them in the fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember thinking you're never going to outdo the Sony Sports Walkman Why did you?
Oh man,
How
It's
could
not
you?
going to
How
get
could
any
you,
better than
though?
that. Doesn't skip.
Right?
Forget it.
Yeah.
You don't go
yeah.
any further than that.
Yeah.
And now here we are.
Here we are.
Snowboarding was like a huge thing, or like I was in the 90s with like big fucking pants, like early 2000s, right? So you could have like you could fit your
The
the
Walkman pocket.
Discman in the
Yeah.
back pocket of
Yeah.
these fucking things, and then it was all about like 5 or 10 or 25-second anti-skip technology. I don't know what the fuck any of that meant, but it
Yeah.
never fucking worked.
all I
So,
know
like,
is it drained my battery.
oh yeah, it's like snowboarding and skateboarding. We just went back to like cassette tapes and shit like that. So like we would do like just have mixtapes.
I remember that Walkman so well though, like the yellow.
Yes.
Yeah, you
and
know
my
it.
my
Yeah.
uncle had
The
it,
little
and I was
thing on
just
the
like,
top.
and I remember
Yeah.
just because we would always get hand-me-downs, like the first Nintendo was probably his,
Yep.
and like Ataris and all that kind of shit. And I remember just being like, I can't wait until he's over this.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I cannot wait to get my fucking hands on this thing. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I didn't have tapes, like nothing. It was just having it in your hands
Oh,
like
yeah.
this. It was the fucking clip, dude. Was like,
yeah.
oh, it was
Oh.
so
It
It was a
industrial.
fucking middle
Forget about
school status symbol. That
The
fucking
grade
thing.
latch that just fucking
Yeah.
goosh.
Yeah.
Oh man, it doesn't get anywhere. And then like if you had the yellow foam fucking
the little-
headphones too
the
with
little-
it, you were
yeah.
the shit,
Out
dude.
of
Yeah.
control.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck yeah.
that was awesome.
It's all the style. I mean, it all needs to come back. I remember I had like a FUBU like case or whatever that like latched onto my backpack that had CDs. Like, you know what I mean? It's one of those little
Sick.
CD books or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That
yeah,
actually
of
had the
course.
fucking a pocket for the Discman in there as well,
Nice.
with a little hole that you could fucking put get the
headphones?
fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Right?
dude.
Yeah.
I was styling, profiling, but you know what I mean. But nothing lasts forever, right?
Oh,
It does.
no.
Yeah.
I remember when you could burn CDs. Like,
Yeah.
what? You can burn the CD.
Yeah.
You know, you just got
That
achy breaky
started-
at the top and fucking
Yeah.
the rest of them were bangers.
Yeah, that was the last time I bought an album just for achy breaky. And plus, this album was '87, so I was 15 and started, getting interested in girls. This is where rocker chicks are, '80s rocker chicks, acid wash, hair teased out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still am a softie for that look.
Oh,
I see
absolutely.
that look.
Yeah. And why do you think
Now-
you're chasing after that
That's
lipstick
my
on that
weird
wine
science.
glass, bro?
Yeah. Weird science.
Absolutely. Why?
Oh.
You see one now, and the skin is a little leathery, and like I mean, I think the like a
Oh,
a
don't get
faded
me going.
tattoo on the tit.
Don't
You know
get
what I
me
mean?
going.
That's the
Where?
shit
Oh,
right there.
fuck.
That's my auntie, man. Take it easy,
Oh,
Elsie.
God, forget it. That's my specialty.
If you got a homophobic kid, I am down to fuck.
Yeah,
Oh, my cousin will call you faggot. Don't worry about it. We got that covered.
And the cover though, it is iconic. And like even last night we were listening to this album on the way to the show, and we get to the show, and Aiden D'Souza gets there. I don't know if you've met him. He's a younger kid in the scene now, and he takes off his jacket and he's wearing a faded, like clearly H&M tee with this album cover
Oh,
on it.
sick. He's got
Yeah.
a couple of Def Leppard. That boy is
Yeah.
into that shit, though. He
Yeah.
legitimately is. He's a big
He
Van
is.
Halen fan and a big big Def Leppard. He's got a couple of Def Leppard
Oh,
shirts.
he's
Yeah.
yeah, it's good to see the young kids getting into it.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
when you'd
yeah.
sew the patches of the band on the back.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I still do that
Probably
shit.
good.
Yeah.
AC/DC,
Yeah.
It's probably coming back. Everything old is new again. I see
Totally.
all the old sneakers and everything.
Yep.
on
Yeah,
there.
man.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
the
For
old
sure.
Vans,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's just a cycle, and I think it's about time too, right? Like if I could just turn the radio on or whatever, and kind of like the rock and roll resurgence, I'm ready for it. You know what I mean? I'm here for it. But like this is when it was like like cool, right? I don't know if there's something about like the hair metal in the '80s, the confidence, the fucking this is LC, you know?
Oh,
what I mean,
Totally.
You
right?
might
Like,
not
I
know to
think
look
that-
at me, but yeah.
Yeah.
I like the '80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll never
bygone
die.
era,
I mean, I wore aviators then, and I watched them go out, and now they're back in.
Yeah.
But I never stopped wearing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You're the most like
I mean, I'm
loyal
just waiting
dude
for
ever.
the fanny pack to come back in.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy, I think
it's back.
I feel like it's back,
I
dude.
think the fanny
got a
pack
couple
is
of them.
back.
Although
yeah.
it's this way.
Yeah.
It's the body pack.
People do style it
can't,
differently.
can't do it, right?
Can't
It's
do
not
that,
your
yeah.
fanny pack.
That's not a fanny pack.
I saw
It's
you
not on-
instantly shoot that down.
Yeah.
Nah, brother, that's fucking
Yeah.
bullshit.
It's not how
It's
we're
called the
doing
fanny pack for a
Yeah,
reason.
you're damn right.
right?
Want to arrest a fanny?
Yeah.
You just get to the point where that's just like in case of emergencies, just so I don't lose my shit, right? Like I think if I'm getting to that age, then I mean it's not the worst thing in the world, but I think the fanny pack was something that was Like it was always ironic.
Fuck.
You know,
Phone, chapstick, fucking, everything, brush, it's so practical.
how much shit you got on you?
Yeah.
Pocket check.
It's like, on weed, everything.
Yeah.
Fuck, you put it in there. And
I like how
then it
brush
was just the
outweighed weed,
Antichrist.
though.
Damn well.
Chapstick and brush at the top. That's the
Yeah.
lady's choice.
Yeah.
Keep right.
That's a lady's choice starter kit. Fanny pack with all those things in it.
Yo, dude, if you sold that shit, I would.
After
totally-
shows, you should like
Coupons
the
to the
merch would
tanning
be.
booth.
Teach us how to make it so our hair always looks kind of wet. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it's just a good look.
It is an art.
Just spend on the good product.
Yeah.
No more dippity do.
No,
You gotta
you saw
buy
me
the
from a
good
block
stuff,
away.
brother.
LC, you saw me from a block away.
Yeah.
Tippity do bullshit.
But Dapper Dan, man.
Damn it, I'm a Dapper Dan, man.
I need some more high quality H2O.
Yeah, where are we at? Actually?
We're just about to land the plane
Yeah,
here.
we
Finish
can,
this
we
up?
can,
Yeah, we
wrap
can
her up
knock
right
it down.
now.
LC, what do you have on the horizon? I want to see the LC podcast. I want to see more LC.
Well, you know what? I love doing podcasts. I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm at Yuck Yucks April 21st and 22nd.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I'm at the House of Comedy on the 8th
Nice.
of April.
Very nice.
And I'm here, there, and everywhere.
Hell
Up
yeah,
there,
man.
Down there, and all around there.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Everybody that's
Yeah.
that's been listening, this is give this fucking man a follow. Come to the show, see him in
Yeah.
person. It's a real goddamn treat, man.
Well, thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you
too,
so
man.
much for coming on. This
My
is so much
pleasure.
fun.
My pleasure.
Awesome.
Peace.
Peace.